Before moving further, we're pushing for 1,000 subscribers here at Gridiron Ground. If you're enjoying our Browns and Shedeur Sanders coverage, hit that subscribe button and be part of the journey. Let's build this community together.
Sanders made some very nice throws, and his progress from a year ago, but I agree. I mean, I thought Deshaun Watson, that red zone interception was not great. The one to fan in, that has to be a touchdown, whether that's him.
The Cleveland Browns quarterback room is sitting directly on top of a ticking time bomb. And what just happened in joint practices against the Buffalo Bills might have officially lit the fuse. While the front office continues trying to protect their $230 million investment, the practice tape from this week tells a completely different story. Shedeur Sanders stepped onto the field against Buffalo's first-team defense and delivered a masterclass, ripping 50-yard touchdowns and executing flawless 2-minute drives without turning the ball over once. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson walked straight into the red zone and threw a disastrous interception directly into the chest of safety Jordan Hancock, leaving local beat reporters completely stunned. The gap between these two quarterbacks is no longer something Cleveland can hide behind closed doors. Before we break down every single throw, I need you to do something right now. Type the word START in the comments below if you believe Shedeur Sanders has earned the right to be quarterback one. Or drop the word bench if you think Cleveland is making a massive mistake by clinging to the past. Lock your prediction in, because what the game film revealed today will completely change how you view this entire season.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
Man, I say that Shedeur Sanders still won the entire QB competition. Listen, it's not even over with yet because he still have one more game against the Buffalo Bills this weekend, and I feel like he can put this thing to bed if he go out there and ball out, because it's going to only apply more and more pressure to the Browns front office. Even if they want to go with Deshaun Watson, he only have a certain amount of games to actually play, because before it's all said and done, he's going to turn the ball over and Shedeur Sanders will get that opportunity. Same thing that G. Bush stated earlier in this video. Everything you do on the football field in practice translate over into the game. All football players and fans, everybody knows that. So we definitely...
When an NFL team travels for joint training camp practices, the friendly environment of your home facility gets completely stripped away. You are suddenly lining up against elite opposing talent with defensive coordinators who are actively trying to embarrass your offensive scheme. That was the exact atmosphere waiting for the Cleveland Browns when they walked onto the field against the Buffalo Bills. Heading into this session, Buffalo offensive coordinator Joe Brady made it clear that he had not finalized which starters would play in the upcoming preseason game. That simple admission instantly raised the stakes for every single rep. It meant that whenever Shedeur Sanders took the field, he was not just running through basic installation against vanilla coverage. He was potentially going toe-to-toe with starting caliber NFL defenders in high-pressure situations where every mistake gets amplified. From the moment Shedeur arrived in Cleveland, the organizational narrative has been built around patience and steady development. The team wanted everyone to believe that this was a redshirt year where a rookie could sit back, learn the playbook, and gradually adjust to the speed of professional defenses. But football has a funny way of completely wrecking carefully scripted front office plans when real talent shows up on the tape. Cleveland sports analyst Garrett went out to this practice specifically to monitor the quarterback competition with his own eyes. Because there is an immense difference between what coaches say at a press conference microphone and what actually takes place between the white lines. The rep distribution during the opening 11-on-11 team periods revealed plenty about how the coaching staff is trying to manage this dynamic. Deshaun Watson took all 6 of his snaps strictly with the first-team offense, maintaining the traditional status of an established starter. Shedeur Sanders also received 6 snaps, but his opportunities were split, taking 4 reps with the starting unit and 2 reps with the second team. Dylan Gabriel stepped in for 3 snaps with the third team, while Deshaun Green handled 2. On paper, it appeared as though Cleveland was keeping the hierarchy perfectly intact. But the moment the whistle blew and the ball was snapped, the contrast in execution became impossible to ignore.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
Shedeur did not approach those 6 snaps like a rookie trying to survive the afternoon without making a glaring mistake. He approached every single snap like a starting quarterback in the middle of a postseason fourth quarter. When a young player splits reps between multiple offensive line units, their timing often gets disrupted because the cadence changes and the protection schemes break down. Yet Sanders operated with an unmistakable sense of command, directing traffic at the line of scrimmage, adjusting his protections, and making decisive pre-snap reads against Buffalo's disguises. Analyst Garrett pointed out that what separates true franchise quarterbacks from game managers is the willingness and capability to push the ball down the field when the defense gives you an opening. For months, rumors and film breakdowns suggested that Cleveland's offense was becoming far too predictable and conservative, settling for short checkdowns rather than threatening defenses vertically. Shedeur immediately changed that energy the second he stepped under center. He brought an aggressive, confident demeanor that energized the entire sideline, creating immediate separation between his drives and the sluggish possessions that came before him. The reality of training camp is that reps are currency. If a rookie quarterback takes reps with the first-team offense and looks overwhelmed, coaches will immediately pull back those opportunities to preserve team confidence. But when a rookie gets thrown into the fire against a premier defense and consistently moves the chains, the front office suddenly finds itself trapped in a corner. The Browns organization can attempt to downplay the significance of a joint practice all they want, but everyone standing on that sideline knew they were watching a power shift in real time. And what happened when the team transitioned into 7-on-7 drills would only push that debate to a whole new level. As the practice moved past the initial installation periods and into competitive 7-on-7 work, the speed of the game accelerated dramatically. Without a live pass rush bearing down on the pocket, 7-on-7 drills put all the pressure directly on the quarterback's vision, arm strength, and timing. Defenses flood the passing lanes with extra defensive backs, eliminating easy underneath throws and daring passers to fit the football into tight windows over the middle of the field. This was the exact setting where Shedeur Sanders turned an ordinary practice into an undeniable statement. The first major spark came on an intermediate dig route over the middle to wide receiver Isaiah Bond. Sanders took a clean 3-step drop, manipulated the underneath safety with his eyes, and fired an absolute strike into a closing window right at the numbers. The throw was placed with such precision that Bond was able to secure the catch, absorb heavy contact from the closing defensive back, and maintain possession as the play turned chippy. When opposing defenders start getting physical and frustrated after a completion in joint practice, it tells you everything you need to know. It means the coverage was solid, the scheme was executed correctly, and the quarterback simply beat them with elite ball placement. Moments later, Shedeur delivered the highlight of the entire afternoon on a breathtaking 50-yard deep shot to Malachi Corley. This was not a broken play where a receiver ran wide open because of a busted assignment in the secondary. Buffalo had 2 defensive backs tracking the route downfield, bracketing Corley as he accelerated along the numbers. Sanders stood tall in his drop, hitched up into the throw with textbook mechanics, and dropped a teardrop pass directly into the bucket over the outside shoulder of Corley for a walk-in touchdown. The ball traveled over 50 yards through the air with perfect trajectory, landing precisely where only his receiver could make a play on it. Throws like that completely dismantle the lazy narratives that critics have tried to attach to Shedeur throughout the pre-draft process. Skeptics frequently claimed that his production was inflated by short perimeter screens and quick game concepts. Yet here he was, standing on an NFL practice field against a disciplined Buffalo defense, driving the football vertically and attacking deep coverage with complete fearlessness. That level of field-stretching capability forces safeties to back up, which inherently opens up the entire playbook for the offensive coordinator. In stark contrast, opposing players had already begun whispering about the predictability of Cleveland's offensive possessions when Watson was running the show. During recent sessions, members of the opposing secondary were overheard describing the Browns' offense as checked on city, highlighting a clear reluctance to test defenses deep down the boundary. When an opposing defense stops respecting your ability to push the ball vertically, they crowd the line of scrimmage, eliminate the running game, and suffocate your underneath crossers. Shedeur's performance in this period completely shattered that defensive comfort zone. By consistently challenging the defense deep and executing high-difficulty throws on intermediate routes, he proved that the entire offensive playbook can remain open when he is running the offense. Beat reporters standing along the sidelines began exchanging glances, noting that this was not just a solid practice for a developmental prospect. This was an explosive downfield passing clinic that Cleveland's offense had not seen in months. But making the throws is only half the battle at the professional level, because what Shedeur did next on a broken defensive snap revealed a level of football intelligence that truly caught everyone off guard. Physical arm talent gets you noticed in the NFL, but football intelligence and processing speed are what keep you on the field. For months, critics who had not thoroughly studied Shedeur's film attempted to label him as a quarterback who held onto the ball too long or struggled to read sophisticated defensive coverages. But during a critical 11-on-11 sequence against Buffalo, Sanders put on a masterclass in situational awareness that completely silenced those talking points. The play began with Buffalo's defensive front jumping across the line of scrimmage before the snap, causing the official to reach for his flag. In that exact fraction of a second, an average quarterback will either panic, take the safe 5-yard penalty by letting the play die, or rush a throw into double coverage without understanding the situation. A seasoned veteran knows that a defensive offsides creates a completely risk-free scenario, often referred to as a free play, where the offense has nothing to lose by taking a deep shot down the field. Shedeur recognized the defensive movement instantly, secured the snap, and immediately altered his progression to attack the vacated space down the sideline toward Isaiah Bond. What made this rep so remarkable was not just the decision to throw deep, but the specific ball placement and trajectory Shedeur chose. Browns beat reporter Nathan Zegura broke down the mechanics of this exact throw, explaining why it demonstrated textbook quarterback decision-making. When you are taking a shot on a free play, overthrowing your target is the worst possible outcome, because an overthrown ball results in an incomplete pass and forces you to simply take the 5-yard encroachment penalty. If you deliver the ball directly on target, you have a massive completion.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
If you slightly underthrow the route against tight coverage, you force the defensive back to commit pass interference as he plays through the receiver's back, creating a 30 or 40-yard penalty that moves you right into scoring position. Shedeur understood that math in real time. He did not overthrow the route. He placed the ball in a competitive window where his receiver had an immediate play on it, giving his team a legitimate chance at a massive gain before the play was blown dead. That is the kind of advanced situational awareness that many starting quarterbacks in this league fail to execute consistently even after years in the system. To see a rookie operate with that level of calm, calculated calculation against an aggressive opposing defense was a massive revelation for the coaching staff. Nathan Zegura went out of his way to emphasize that this was not an accident or a lucky roll of the dice. You cannot fake that level of pre-snap recognition and post-snap execution. You either possess the mental processing speed to see the game in slow motion, or you do not. Sanders was diagnosing defensive shells before the snap, identifying leverage advantages, and manipulating coverage with his eyes to create passing windows. When you compare that razor-sharp decision-making to the constant misreads and hesitations plaguing the rest of the quarterback room, the narrative surrounding Shedeur begins to shift from potential to absolute readiness. The narrative that he needed multiple seasons just to learn how to read NFL coverage schemes was dismantled in real time on that practice field. He was making advanced reads, protecting the football, and maximizing every single situational advantage the defense handed him. But as impressive as Shedeur's football IQ looked during these competitive reps, the contrast became agonizingly sharp the moment Deshaun Watson took over for the red zone period. If Shedeur's performance during the practice was a showcase of composure and downfield accuracy, the subsequent red zone period with Deshaun Watson under center quickly turned into an unmitigated disaster. The red zone is the ultimate testing ground for an NFL quarterback because the field shrinks, windows close twice as fast, and any slight hesitation results in a sack or a turnover. It is the area of the field where poise and precision matter most, and on this afternoon, Watson looked completely unraveled. The trouble started on a critical goal line rep, where tight end Harold Fannin slipped wide open in the flat on a beautifully designed misdirection play. All Watson had to do was plant his back foot, deliver a catchable ball on time, and allow his receiver to walk into the end zone for an effortless score. Instead, Watson inexplicably sailed the pass high and out of reach, watching the ball fly out of the back of the end zone as the sideline groaned in disbelief. Missing a wide-open target from inside the 10-yard line is a fundamental mistake that completely stalls an offensive drive, but the collapse was only beginning. On the very next play, the offense attempted to reset with a jet sweep to regain momentum, but the timing was completely off, resulting in an immediate tackle for a loss in the backfield. Now facing an obvious passing situation from inside the 20-yard line, Watson dropped back into the pocket, held the ball as the rush closed in, and attempted to force a pass over the middle into heavy traffic. Buffalo safety Jordan Hancock read Watson's eyes the entire way, stepped directly into the passing lane, and secured an easy interception, ending the drive without a single point. 3 consecutive plays in the red zone resulted in a missed walk-in touchdown, a negative play, and an inexcusable turnover over the middle of the field. This was not an isolated breakdown captured by a single biased observer. Multiple beat reporters covering the team on a daily basis, including Mary Kay Cabot, Daniel Oyefusi, and Garrett Bush, all reported the exact same series of events. When several independent journalists who have covered the franchise for decades all describe a sequence as ugly and concerning, there is zero room left for spin or narrative management. Some commentators attempted to soften the blow by pointing out that Watson was operating with a few second-team skill players during that specific red zone sequence. But that excuse falls apart completely the moment you watch the film. Backup receivers were not the ones overthrowing open targets in the flat, and backup offensive linemen did not force Watson to stare down his primary read before throwing a blind pass into the chest of an opposing safety. Those were fundamental breakdowns in vision, mechanics, and decision, making from a quarterback who is being paid like an elite top-tier starter. This red zone collapse is part of a deeply concerning pattern that has followed Watson throughout the entire offseason. Whether in 11-on-11 team scrimmages, red zone installations, or joint practices, turnovers have continued to show up with alarming regularity. When an offense cannot trust its quarterback to protect the football inside the 20-yard line, the entire game plan becomes paralyzed by fear. The front office might want to believe that these mistakes will magically disappear once the regular season begins, but the practice field is where habits are formed. And while Watson was handing the ball away to Buffalo defenders, Shedeur Sanders was preparing to take the field for a high-pressure 2-minute drill that would show everyone what true clutch execution looks like. There is no situation in professional football that tests a quarterback's mental fortitude quite like the 2-minute drill. With no timeouts remaining, the clock running, and the defense pinning its ears back to generate pure pass rush pressure, every single second counts. You cannot afford to take sacks. You cannot throw the ball over the middle without an immediate plan to spike it, and you must maintain absolute operational tempo. When Shedeur Sanders stepped onto the field to lead the 2-minute offense against the Bills, he inherited that exact high-pressure scenario. From the first snap of the drive, Sanders operated with calm, surgical efficiency. He did not rush his mechanics or panic against Buffalo's simulated blitz packages. Instead, he systematically carved up the soft spots in the coverage, hitting his boundary receivers on timing routes that allowed them to step out of bounds and stop the clock. Drive progression in a 2-minute drill requires a quarterback to process information pre-snap, while simultaneously keeping track of down, distance, and game clock. Shedeur executed the entire sequence like a seasoned 10-year veteran, moving the chains repeatedly and driving the Cleveland offense the entire length of the field. As the drive pushed deep into scoring territory, the intensity reached a boiling point. On the final sequence of the drill, with only seconds remaining on the clock, Sanders stood in the pocket as the pocket collapsed around him. Knowing there were no timeouts left, he kept his eyes downfield and launched a final pass toward the back corner of the end zone for wide receiver Denzel Boston. The pass fell incomplete, but a closer examination of the tape revealed that Boston was blatantly held by the defending cornerback, who grabbed Boston's left arm and prevented him from getting two hands on the football.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.
The officials swallowed their whistles and let the contact go uncalled, but everyone watching that rep understood what had actually transpired. Even with the uncalled holding penalty and 0 timeouts to work with, Shedeur had put his football team in an undeniable position to score a game-winning touchdown against a premier defense. He did not take a fatal sack in bounds to let the clock expire. He did not panic and throw a frantic interception into the end zone, and he did not make a mental mistake that derailed the possession. He gave his receiver a legitimate chance to make a play on the ball when everything was on the line. The ability to operate under extreme pressure without compromising ball security is the single most valuable trait an NFL quarterback can possess. When the lights are brightest and the game is on the line, some players tighten up and make catastrophic errors, while others elevate their performance and bring everyone around them along for the ride. Shedeur demonstrated that rare ability to slow the game down in the most chaotic moments imaginable. When you place that poised, mistake-free 2-minute drive right next to Watson's 3-play red zone meltdown, the contrast is stark. One quarterback was actively finding ways to navigate difficult situations and protect the football, while the other was making unforced errors and handing extra possessions to the opponent. That fundamental difference in clutch execution was about to be reflected in the final statistical tracker numbers from the day, and the data would make it impossible for anyone to deny what had taken place. When you strip away all the opinions, fan loyalties, and front office spin, the raw numbers from the quarterback tracker provide a clear, objective snapshot of performance. During this joint practice against Buffalo, the statistics told a story that completely contradicted the official team depth chart. Shedeur Sanders finished his day completing 13 of 23 passes with 0 touchdowns, and most importantly, 0 interceptions. Deshaun Watson ended his session completing 12 of 17 attempts with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Dillon Gabriel went 4 of 7, while Deshaun Green completed all 3 of his attempts with a score. At first glance, casual observers might look at Watson's 70% completion rate and single touchdown pass and assume he had the more efficient afternoon. But true football evaluation requires digging far deeper than surface-level box scores. Watson's completion percentage was heavily padded by conservative underneath checkdowns and short rhythm throws during early scripted installation periods. Yet the moment he was asked to execute in the high-leverage red zone environment, his efficiency vanished, resulting in a sailed pass to a wide-open receiver and a costly interception directly to the defense. On the other side of the ledger, Shedeur's 13 completions came on a much higher average depth of target. He was not checking the ball down to running backs behind the line of scrimmage just to preserve his completion percentage. He was attacking intermediate coverage, pushing the ball 50 yards down the boundary to Malachi Corley, and taking aggressive shots down the field during situational periods. Even with those higher-risk throws, Sanders protected the football completely. Not a single pass he threw was put in harm's way, and he finished the entire afternoon without a turnover. In a quarterback competition, ball security is the ultimate equalizer. A coaching staff can live with an occasional incompletion on a deep route, but they cannot survive consistent turnovers in the red zone. Cleveland beat reporters who watched every single snap acknowledged that while Watson had a few crisp periods early in the day, Shedeur's overall command, field vision, and ball protection gave him the definitive edge across the entire practice. Beat reporters openly noted that Shedeur's development from a year ago has been like night and day. They gave tremendous credit to the coaching staff, including Todd Monken, for designing an environment that allows young quarterbacks to flourish, but they gave the vast majority of the credit to Sanders himself. The work he put in during the offseason to refine his footwork, speed up his release, and master defensive recognition was showing up in real time against an elite AFC opponent. The statistical receipts confirmed what everyone on the ground was feeling. You had an incumbent starter who completed short passes early but cracked under pressure in the red zone, and you had a hungry rookie who attacked the defense vertically, commanded the 2-minute drill, and never gave the ball away. That contrast created an undeniable dilemma for the Browns' front office, and it sets the stage for an explosive showdown in the upcoming preseason game against Buffalo. The Cleveland Browns front office now finds itself navigating one of the most volatile and delicate quarterback dynamics in modern NFL history. On one hand, the organization has invested historic amounts of fully guaranteed money into Deshaun Watson, creating immense organizational pressure to keep him on the field regardless of practice struggles. On the other hand, the coaching staff and locker room are watching Shedeur Sanders consistently outplay him whenever competitive live reps are on the line. Football locker rooms are pure meritocracies, and players know immediately when the best player at the most important position is being held back by contract politics. Analyst Garrett Bush stated plainly that the question regarding Shedeur taking over the starting role is no longer a matter of if, but simply a matter of when. Even if the Browns decide to protect their financial investment by naming Watson the Week 1 starter for the regular season opener, that decision comes with an extremely short leash. If Watson carries his turnover issues and red zone struggles into meaningful regular season games that count in the standings, the pressure from the fans, media, and locker room to make a change will become completely overwhelming. This brings all the focus directly onto the upcoming preseason matchup against the Buffalo Bills this Saturday. Joint practice is one thing, but a live preseason game with full tackling, real game situations, and millions of eyes watching across the country is the ultimate proving ground. If Buffalo decides to play their starters for a few series, Shedeur will have a golden opportunity to step onto the field against first-team NFL defenders under the stadium lights and put this entire quarterback debate to bed once and for all. Every single throw Shedeur makes in that game will be analyzed under a microscope. If he goes out there, drives the offense down the field, protects the football, and creates explosive plays just like he did in joint practice, the Browns' front office will have nowhere left to hide. You cannot justify benching a quarterback who is clearly operating at a higher level simply because another player has a bigger contract. The tape never lies. Everything a player does on the practice field eventually translates directly into game day reality. Sanders is proving every single day that he is not just a high-profile name or a developmental backup. He is playing like a legitimate starting NFL quarterback who is ready to lead a franchise right now. The pressure on Cleveland's coaching staff is reaching a critical breaking point, and Saturday night in Buffalo could be the moment the Shedeur Sanders era officially begins. The evidence from this joint practice against Buffalo has made the reality inside the Cleveland Browns building completely undeniable. Shedeur Sanders won the day by showcasing elite deep ball accuracy, masterful free play recognition, and ice-cold composure during a high-pressure 2-minute drill, all while keeping the football completely out of harm's way. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson's recurring red zone turnover woes have sent shockwaves through the coaching staff, proving that a massive guaranteed contract cannot mask fundamental breakdowns on the field. The tape has spoken, and the upcoming preseason showdown against the Bills is shaping up to be the defining turning point for this entire franchise. If you want the real, unfiltered truth behind the biggest storylines across the league without any front office spin, you need to make sure you are locked in with us every single week. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your post notifications so you never miss an exclusive breakdown from the NFL Update. We are tracking every single snap, every turnover, and every massive front office decision as this quarterback battle reaches its boiling point. Stay tuned to the NFL Update, drop your thoughts in the comments, and we will see you immediately after the final whistle on Saturday.
Man, when he saw that, he says Deshaun Watson overthrows Harry Fanning wide open in the corner on the goal line. Next play, jet sweep for a loss. Next play, DB just up and picks him off in the red zone. Not pretty at all. I just showed you guys that. Browns reporter Daniel Oyefuzi also stated bad stretch for Deshaun Watson in red zone. 11 on 11, sailed a pass to a wide open Fanning in the flat. A couple plays later, he is intercepted over the middle by Jordan Hancock. This is very important for me to continually show you guys the different reporters are saying the same thing so you guys know. Man, I say that Shedeur Sanders still won the entire QB competition. Listen, it's not even over with yet because he still have one more game against the Buffalo Bills this weekend, and I feel like he can put this thing to bed if he go out there and ball out, because it's going to only apply more and more pressure to the Browns front office. Even if they want to go with Deshaun Watson, he only have a certain amount of games to actually play, because before it's all said and done, he's going to turn the ball over and Shedeur Sanders will get that opportunity. Same thing that G. Bush stated earlier in this video. You know, everything you do on the football field in practice translate over into the game. All football players and fans, everybody knows that. So we definitely